Today we will begin solving radical equations. When solving radical equations, we will use inverse operations to isolate the radical. Once the radical is alone on one side of the equal sign, you will then use the appropriate exponent to cancel the radical. Finally, you will finish solving for the variable, then check the solution. Since square root functions have restricted domains, there is a possibility that when you solve the equation, the solutions that you find may not be valid. These solutions are called extraneous solutions. And you will determine if a solution is extraneous or not by checking the solution you found in the original equation. If you get a true mathematical statement, the solution is not extraneous. And if you don't, then it is extraneous. Let's go ahead and start solving. If at any point in this video you need to pause to finish your green note sheet, please do. The first example, the square root of 4x plus 1 is equal to 5. So in this equation, there is no math surrounding the radical symbol on the left-hand side. It just says the square root of 4x plus 1. So what we need to do is we need to get rid of the radical using the appropriate power. So since this is a square root, and square roots are canceled with powers of 2, we're going to square both sides. Because whatever we do to one side, we want to do to the other. Now this square cancels out the square root symbol. So on the left-hand side, we have just 4x plus 1 remaining. And on the right-hand side, we have 25 remaining because we did 5 squared. Now we're going to go ahead and solve for x in the remaining equation. So I'm going to use inverse operations. The inverse of addition is subtraction, so I'm subtracting 1. So I have 4x equals 24. And then I'm going to get rid of the 4 in front of the x using division because that actually says 4 times x. And I get x equals 6. So now what we're going to do is we're going to check that and see if 6 is an extraneous solution or not. If we get a true mathematical statement from the original equation, it is not extraneous. And if we do, then it is extraneous. Think extra. Like something that we don't need. So I'm going to start out with my original equation, 4. I'm going to replace the x with what we found it to be, which was 6 plus 1, hopefully equals 5. So now I'm going to simplify the math on the left-hand side and hope that it checks out to be the equal sign 5. So we're checking to see if it equals 5. So 4 times 6 is 24. 24 plus 1 is 25. And the square root of 25 is 5. So then we check, does it equal what we wanted it to equal, which was 5? Yes, it does. So that means x equals 6 is our solution and not extraneous. Since this is true, x equals 6 is not extraneous. Okay, second equation. On this one, example 2, I see there is some math on the outside of the radical symbol. See, it says the square root of 2x minus 5 plus 2 is equal to 9. So we want to get rid of that math first. So the first thing I'm going to do is subtract 2. So now I have the square root of 2x minus 5 is equal to 9 minus 2, which is 7. Now that the radical symbol, the square root, is all by itself, now we can go ahead and get rid of it. So now I'm going to go ahead and square both sides. The power of 2 cancels out the square root, so I'm left with 2x minus 5 on the left-hand side, and I'm left with 49 on the right-hand side. I'm going to now solve for x in the remaining equation by using inverse operations. So I'm going to cancel out the subtraction using addition. So now I have 2x is equal to 54. I'm going to get rid of the multiplication by dividing by 2. And I'll get that 54 divided by 2 is 27. Now I'm going to go ahead and check in the original equation. So 2, substituting in our value for x that we just found, hopefully equals 9. And our value that we just found was 27. I'm going to do 2 times 27 first. 2 times 27 is 54, minus 5. Now remember, we're hoping at the end of simplifying this left-hand side of the equation, we will get 9. So now I'm going to go ahead and subtract. 54 minus 5 is 49. The square root of 49 is 7. And 7 plus 2 is 9. So it checks out. 9 equals 9. So that means x equals 27 is our solution and is not extraneous. Okay, let's go ahead and move on to the next page. So example 3. Okay, we have some math around the outside of the square root in this example as well. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of that math. I'm going to start by subtracting 12. So now I have 3 square roots of x plus 1 is equal to 6. I'm going to, at this point, divide by 3 to get rid of this 3 in front of the square root symbol. So now I have the square root of x plus 1 is equal to 2. I'm going to cancel out, now that the radical is by itself, I'm going to go ahead and square both sides to get rid of the square root symbol. So now I have x plus 1 on the left-hand side and 4 on the right-hand side. Last thing I need to do in this equation is subtract 1, and I end up with x equals 3. So now we're going to go ahead and check it in the original equation. And I'm replacing the x in the original equation with what we found, which was 3. I'm going to go ahead and simplify underneath the square root and hope that it equals, simplify the left-hand side, starting by simplifying under the square root and hoping that my final equation equals 18. So I have 3 plus 1, which is 4. Now I'm going to do 3 times the square root of 4. I'm going to simplify that square root. Square root of 4 is 2. Now I'm going to multiply 3 times 2. That's 6. And finally, I'm going to do 6 plus 12, which is 18. And in the original equation, I wanted it to equal 18. So this one checks out as well. So x equals 3 is not extraneous. Example number 4. Okay, so in example number 4, there are 2 radicals, one on each side of the equal sign, but neither of them have any math around the outside, so we don't have to worry about isolating the radical. We can go ahead and just cancel the radicals out by squaring both sides. So when I square the left-hand side, the power of 2 cancels out the square root symbol, so I'm just left with the radicand, which is 3 minus 2x. And on the left-hand side, the same thing happens. The power of 2 cancels out the square root, so I'm just left with the radicand 12. Now that I have gotten rid of the square roots, I can go ahead and solve for x in my remaining equation. I'm going to go ahead and start by subtracting 3. So now I have negative 2x is equal to 9. I'm then going to divide by negative 2, and I get x is equal to, I'm going to leave my answer as a fraction, negative 9 halves. Now if I could reduce that, I would go ahead and use my calculator by pressing math, enter, enter to simplify the fraction. Okay, let's go ahead and check and see if this solution is extraneous or not. So far, we have not had an extraneous solution. So I'm using the original equation, 3 minus 2 times negative 9 halves equals the square root of 12, hopefully. Negative 9 halves. So I'm going to simplify on the left-hand side because there's some math to be done. So I'm going to start by multiplying negative 2 and negative 9 halves. That equals 9. And then I'm going to add 3 and 9. That equals 12. And so you'll notice I have the square root of 12. And in the original equation, I need to equal the square root of 12. So it turns out this one checks out. Even if I don't know what the actual number for the square root of 12 is, both sides equal the same value. So it turns out this equation doesn't have an extraneous solution either. Okay, one more example. So number 5 is going to start out the same way that we started out number 4. We're going to go ahead and just cancel out those radicals. So I'm squaring both sides to cancel out the square roots. On the left-hand side, that leaves me with 2x minus 6. And on the right-hand side, it leaves me with the radicand 3x plus 4. Oh, look at this. This equation has variables on both sides. When I taught Algebra 1, I used to say cancel out the smaller variable first. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get rid of the 2x on the left-hand side by subtracting 2x. That gives me negative 6 on the left-hand side and 1x plus 4 on the right-hand side. I'm going to try and get this 1x by itself. So now I'm going to subtract 4. So now I have negative 6 minus 4. That equals negative 10. And that equals 1x. Well, 1x is the same thing as x. So now we have the solution, x equals negative 10. Let's go ahead and check that. So we're going to do 2 times negative 10 minus 6 and hope that equals 3 times negative 10 plus 4. let's do some simplifying underneath those square root symbols. So I'm going to start by multiplying 2 times negative 10. That's negative 20. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to do 3 times negative 10. That's negative 30. On the left-hand side, I'm going to subtract those two numbers. So negative 20 minus 6 is negative 26. And on the right-hand side, I'm going to add negative 30 and 4. Negative 30 and 4 also equals negative 26. Now at this point, some people might be thinking that x equals negative 10 is the solution. But if you remember from the last unit, when you take the square root of a negative, it's an imaginary number. And imaginary numbers don't exist in this unit. If you remember from our graphs, we have those restricted domains. So since we have those imaginary values, that means x equals negative 10 is extraneous. Therefore, the answer to number 5 is actually no solution. Okay, thanks for following along with this video. You can now go ahead and attach this into your interactive notebook and begin working on the 6 practice problems.